HalleluYah. 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 Holy, holy, holy is our Father in heaven. HalleluYah. Glory, glory, glory. Glory, glory. Be his name forever. Glory to God. To God be the glory forever and ever. To God be the glory forever and ever. HalleluYah. I must record a dream that I was shown. How it's being expressed to me, downloaded to me. I saw in this dream a dragon that looked like a dinosaur. But in the dream, I understood it as a dragon. A dragon. This creature of a monster was trying to devour us. I remember running with a group of young people, men and women. And we were running in different area, running away from this beast of a dragon. And we were running away from it. I remember also a train and how somehow this creature seemed to be in some sort of I don't know, like it was expressed to me like there was a moment of dimension, where it arrived in our dimension somehow. I do not know how to express it. I just remember seeing from the distance train that somehow it came into a different dimension. It popped in and then it went back into its dimension. And it was all broken up. It was a broken up train. I remember having a moment that I saw it normal, a normal functioning train. And then suddenly it was completely messed up, broken down, and somehow it popped into a different dimension. I'm going to express it the best that I can, the best way that I'm able to express it. But the dream was that this creature was running towards us in a sense of as the beast is able to run. And it looked exactly like how a dragon will look. And it was running after us. And I could sense that it wanted to, like it was with different people around. Yes, it wouldn't mind attacking them, but it was taking a lot of pleasure of wanting to devour specific type of people. I say this because In the dream, as this creature was running after us, it was very focused in our group of people. It was very focused down in our group, like our scent. There was a moment in a hallway, like if it was a school of some kind. I remember being in the school. A lot of it had to do with us being in school, us being like students. And that's how I saw it. We were students, like we were part of this school. And while we were in this school, somehow, some way, this ginormous beast of a dragon started to run after us to devour us. And we began to run as fast as we could away from this evil beast. And I remember that in between these hallways and rooms and things like that, I remember that I saw a student, like 3 students sitting down, and they had music playing in their ears. And I remember that one of the groups, as we were running and we saw them, we were trying to express and yell to them, run, run, run. There's basically, danger there. And I remember in my mind thinking, let's not say the word dragon, because they're going to think of us, they're not going to believe us. So it was expressed to them, like danger basically. But even when we expressed danger, they still would not listen. They still did not want to listen. The danger was ahead. And they continue with their music playing in their ears. Again, they just did not want to listen. Because first, when we saw them, they couldn't listen to what was happening around them because they were so occupied with all the noise that they were listening in their ears with the music. And they were so caught in that world that they were not seeing what was happening around them. And I remember that we, the group of people, when we saw them sitting there, not running, not doing anything, very just in their own world, I remember that we removed what was in their ears that they had, because they were listening to music, and we were expressing to them the danger was around, to run, to basically, but they would not listen. They took it as offense, as, like they wanted to do their thing, and that's what they wanted to do. And I remember that we just let them be because there was nothing else we could do, but the warning was given to them. The warning was given to them. And we began to continue to run away from this ginormous beast of a dragon that wanted to devour us. And we continued to run through all these corridors that we saw in the school in different areas. And I remember that many of us, we were trying to keep like there was a moment that there were people, like audience of people, a lot of innocent people around. And I remember that one of us was trying to keep the dragon to just run after us and stay away from the innocent one, stay away from those that are innocent. And I remember that it was following our scent. I remember that that's when I realized that this creature, even though it would attack what would be in its way, in a sense, innocently, innocent people just getting in its way, it would attack it, but it wouldn't have pleasure, in the sense like it would just eat it without being satisfied, but it would still harm them. It wanted to, it's like if it wanted us. That's how I understood it. It wanted us, specific group of people. Like it was following our scent. And I can't explain it. All I can explain that this beast was running after us. And then there was a moment that we had a bit of a breather room. Like if we arrived in an area where the creature was not yet there, we arrived in a place. This is where time somehow seems to overlap itself. Like if somehow something looped or overlapped, there's something with time and space, and somehow we appeared in a different place where we had a bit of a breather room. And in that bit of a breather room where we were, it's like we knew that we still needed to, again, like be tactical, like military, figure it out, because we knew that we were in a battlefield with this creature. And I remember that there was a moment that I saw, how a king or a queen, they wear this royal robe, like a veil in the back, like a long, not a veil on the head, but like a robe, a king's robe or a queen's robe that is really like royalty. And like a king and priest robe. I remember that I saw this hung on something. I do not know what this something is, but think of it like if it's a wall, and all of a sudden you see this robe, and what I saw on the robe? I saw these birds. It's like the birds that were on the robe, like they were, like they flew it, like they brought it, and it was there, like they helped bring it over, and it was very, very long. And when I saw it, it reminded me of Cinderella, when in the story she was in her rags in the beginning, and then all of a sudden she was being called to a different, she was already preparing for her role of her next journey, even though she was unaware. And there was a moment in that story where the animals, like the birds, were helping her, helping her. And I remember that when I saw the birds in this dream, and I saw the birds just there on this royal long garment that you will see on a king and a priest, it jotted that memory of Cinderella somehow. And that's how I understood it, as that. And I remember that me and this other young lady, we grabbed the royal robe and we placed it upon us. And it was this one ginormous robe that we both could actually share. I know it's weird, but we both could share it. And then we both placed it upon our backs, and we began to walk as if we understood who we were, even though I don't know how to explain it, but it's like if we put it on as though we knew who we were. And we began to walk with this royal robe behind our backs, like, like on us, or this garment on us. And then the dream ends of us putting on this royal robe, and we began to walk. The birds, obviously, they flew away. They were no longer on the road, but they kind of just jotted my memory regarding the story of Cinderella somehow, making me understand that there was a moment in that story of Cinderella that was brought to my attention. And typically I would not talk about this story, But somehow in this dream is what it was brought to me to bring to my attention of what I need to convey to all and for me to understand as well. That in the story of Cinderella, as you know, there was a moment that she was working as a servant, and she was she was humbled. She was humbled, and she basically was serving her own family, and she was very humbled by that. She did not fight them. She did not express any type of behavior that were negative, in a sense that even though she could be in a different type of position, even though she could have taken a different type of role if she wanted to, she didn't. She simply continued being humble and being patient and serving others. And she waited. She was in that position, even though she could have, got in a different position in this particular moment in her life, where she could have been taking charge of her own house, in a sense. But she took the bottom estate of being in the basement, in a sense, and being humble, and basically being in her being in her rags position, and not realizing that there was so much more for her, that in a sense. And so the story this dream jotted that particular story, and that little moment there was also kind of expressed to me in the sense of, that she was in the position that she could have done more, but she didn't, because she preferred to be respectful to the new owner of that place. Even though she was also the owner, she was being respectful of her other family member, and she maintained herself humble and in her rags, But then there was a moment that she was no longer in her rags, but she was called for a higher position. And so in this dream that jotted that little moment there, and also it jotted a moment of transition, the moment of something different happening in the lives of these group of people that I saw running from this beast that wanted to devour them. We know that in Revelation it expresses, I think it's Revelation chapter 12. Let me double check. Chapter 12. Listen to this. May this bring more clarification to what the dream was trying to express. Revelation chapter 12, it says, "And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And in his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto God and to his throne." I'm going to stop there on that verse 5. So as you can see, that the dragon was trying to devour to devour, how it says here, and it says here on verse 4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So we see that it's expressing of a type of dragon that wanted to devour a child as soon as it was born. And so in this dream, I saw this dragon, that it was running after a group of people, running after us, trying to devour us, running specifically after us, focused mainly on us. Even though there were other people here and there that will get in its way, and it would still do its harm, but it was focused and determined on us. It wanted to devour us. And so in this dream, that's what I saw. But in the dream, as I saw this, towards the end of the dream, I saw a royal type of king and priest type of garment, and I understood it as of a change of kind of like expressing the position that we are in. And it's very profound. Even as I'm expressing this dream, it's really profound and deep. It's very profound and deep that even my mind is still trying to make full understanding of it. But to the Father be the glory forever and ever, for he knows what he is trying to convey to me, to be able to convey to you all. But we must keep on running the race of victory. No retreat and no surrender, but walking in victory in Jesus Christ. Walking in victory. Shalom.